Stacie, I have a question.
Yes.
Um, where would you put stress at work, like an abusive boss, or not at work, like a job search that's not
Yeah.
really happening as quickly as you are expecting? Does that fall into the category of an internal stress or an external stress?
Well, yeah, I think it's kind of a little bit of both,
Mm,
I mean, because you've got the external actual event that's
mm,
occurring of job search, or even just the external event of, I don't know what the next thing is for job. Um, then you have those emotions that go along with it. And I think that it would be both. I also think that it would be both acute and chronic stress, depending on what's going on. Acute usually refers to something that happens during really short periods of time, like maybe a couple of hours, or even less. I even know some people that are like, no, it has to happen within a few minutes. Not necessarily, I mean, if the job search is something that's taking, say, you know 3 weeks, that's really stressful. That's a chronic piece. And you have the external stress of doing all the things, doing the interviews, doing the search. Did I find any jobs to interview for? Did I not find any jobs to interview for? The actual work piece of it, those things outside of ourselves. But then also the internal things that we're judging what should be happening. The minute we start shoulding on ourselves, we're starting to create that internal stressor. So I think that it covers both. And also, I see that I had a couple of questions here. I finally was able to get my chat to pop up. And yes, absolutely. If you have experienced a car accident, it does take a long time for some people to get back behind the wheel. And it makes sense that it would, because your brain is saying, hey, I got to protect you. So you got to work together got to work those pieces of your brain together and have compassion for the fact that you feel this way. A lot of us really want to think our way out of the problem, and we have an attitude, thinking brain has this attitude of like, just get it together. And that negates the fact that you have emotions that are trying to keep you safe, as well as the fact that you have emotions, period. Like sometimes you're just totally bypassing them, and that can be really difficult. I know that another question was, what about something that has happened 30 years ago? So if something happened 30 years ago and you are having moments where either you're recognizing that you haven't dealt with that, or you're recognizing that it's contributing to you not being able to live your life in a meaningful way, then as a professional, I would say that you probably would benefit from speaking to a professional. I'm not saying that I'm that professional, but there are reasons why we don't deal with things from a long time ago. And sometimes the reason we don't deal with things is to keep ourselves safe, because we don't need to deal with them right now. But there comes a time where you might want to deal with it. So if you have got something that happened to you 30 years ago and it is truly getting in the way of you living a meaningful life, it's getting in the way of you being able to do the things that you want to do, then I do encourage you to try to get the help that you would need. Now, some people find that having a coach is the way to go. I would argue that that might be the way to go, but I would look into as many different places as I could: coaching, therapy, communities that you trust, groups, things like even this group. There are other groups that are like this group that provide support to people that have experienced the same thing. So I would encourage you to look for that help. And if you need help kind of exploring where to look for that help, I am happy to offer my services to sit down and be like, hey, let's figure out like where you might find the support that you need. It could be me, it could not be me, it doesn't matter, but like I do have some experience of guiding people through finding the support they need. So I offer that to you, that if that sounds like something that might be helpful, take advantage of it. I'm here for it.